What is this, Mario's Revenge? Like, come on, man. You got your girl back, isn't that enough? What do you gotta capture my dad for? He hasn't bothered you in 3 years. Why are you harassing him? Look, he's got a kid and everything. Hello, hello, hello. This is Katsubon-kai, and welcome to my corner of the internet. What I'm going to be doing here is I have loaded up the NES emulator on the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to be going through a bunch of random games, for the most part, that I have never played before, and I've decided that I'm going to play each of them for at least 30 minutes. Donkey Kong Jr. I have played a little bit, the arcade version, so I'm somewhat familiar with this one. I'm not good at it. I know it's hard. This is one that a lot of people mention as being hard, so I don't expect to get anywhere with it. Yeah, this is the one where Mario's the bad guy. Look at my sad little diapered donkey butt. Donkey butt. Monkey butt! Jeez! Oops. Apparently falling is just as deadly to you as it is to Jumpman in the original Donkey Kong. This is really cute, though. I really like the design of this one. So I was pretty drawn to it when I saw it. What's the point of that? Is that like to fall on the alligator things? Oops. Okay, I assume I can jump over to that one. I have played this a little, so I knew what it looked like, but it's been a long time and I didn't fully remember. So I imagine I can drop those onto the bad guys. But yeah, Mario is the enemy in this one. He has captured my dad, and I'm trying to save him. Look how sad I am. It's so sad. I tried to jump. Didn't let me. And I think, you know, come to think of it, I think this might be the first one that my dad told me about. Or that he might have seen in this, like in the Mario universe. Because I remember him telling me once that, you know, like when I was playing Super Mario Brothers and stuff. Okay, I gotta get down. That in the, you know, in the original arcade versions, Mario was the bad guy. Which obviously not true in original Donkey Kong. But is in this. So I wonder if this is probably the game that my dad was thinking about. It's my dad, I think. So we kind of both missed the... Come on, man. Okay, key. Right? There we go. Hey, look, I'm happy. I'm here to save my dad. Meanwhile, I'm talking about my dad. So there's flying things. Whoops. That sucks. I think my dad and I both kind of like missed the window. Oh, you can't jump through that. So my dad, I think, was a little bit too old for the golden age of arcade, and I was a little bit too young. So he had played some games like this, but not not a huge variety of them. How do I get... Okay. Interesting. Okay, I can do this. Does that have to... Whoops. Does the dangly ball have to be extended for me to jump onto it? This is interesting. I think I've already gotten further than I got playing the actual game in an actual arcade. I think I got to the last stage with this, but maybe not this one. Now I've been playing these arcade games, so I feel like I'm kind of warmed up here. Alright, so now I'm on this. Now I can get on that. And, okay. I'm here. This is definitely a game where rewinds and such would come in handy. Am I under? I'm under. Okay. So if I stay here... and as I've been doing with my playthroughs of these retro games, I'm allowing myself to use rewinds after I've completed at least half of my half-hour time window. There we go. Definitely doing better at these old games than I was when I started. Kind of warmed up here. Whoa! Oh, I'm looking at Mario. I thought for a second I thought he had a vacuum. Okay. And I was looking at Mario like he was my character for a second, but no. Okay. This is a very weird board. I guess Mario's controlling the electricity. Is that what's going on here? It is really entertaining to be in a scenario where Mario is the bad guy. I have to admit, enjoying that. It's just kind of a creative, different kind of scenario. He's got my dad. I wonder if that kind of is led into from the previous game I was playing, Donkey Kong 3, where you've essentially gone, you're essentially attacking Donkey Kong in the jungle. You're just some random guy, but you're attacking him in the jungle, with pesticide and stuff when he hasn't even done anything wrong. He's just chilling in the jungle. Oh no, this one does look familiar. Okay, so I have played this before. Or I made it to this level before. Oops. That sucks, because now I have to start over. That was my last guy. Yep. Did pretty well that time, though. But where after that, now Donkey Kong is just innocent. And to the point where Mario is the asshole who's holding him captive. Although, I mean, he definitely had captured a girl in the first one. So you can't say he was totally innocent in all of this. Because you can't deny that Donkey Kong had absolutely taken a girl prisoner in the first one. But he didn't seem to be doing anything wrong in the last one. So I have no idea what Donkey Kong 2 was like, because it's not on here. I wonder why not. Oops. That sucks. I wonder why Donkey Kong 2 is not part of the emulator. Alright, figured out how to get across this one. It's not actually that bad once I figured it out. It's just more annoying than I wanted it to be. So I want to be able to jump, oops. Too far. I want to be able to skip over stuff and get places faster, like you can in a lot of more modern games. But this is arcade, and it's meant to be done in a certain order of steps. There are choices, but there are very few choices when it comes to classic arcade games like this too far. It's also really annoying how you die without having fall too far. Anyway, there is choice in old arcade games like this, for example. I could have tried to go across the platforms at the bottom instead of going about it this way. Whoops. I forgot that was too far. I think that comes from platformers, because there's an endless number of games where you've got the safety of these treetop platforms under you. And you think, oh, I'll just drop down there. No problem. The fact that it is a problem is a new kind of situation for me. Not a new situation in general, obviously, because this is a very old game. But new situation for me. It's poor this little dude with his diaper. Okay. Yep, so not used to falling down and all that. But I am sorting this one out. Doing fairly decent considering. What was I saying? Oh, right, that there's a very limited amount of choice in old arcade games. So, you know, you'd think, okay, I'll just jump over onto this other platform. Well, no, you can't do that. You have to do this. And then you have to drop down here. And then you have to get onto this. And then go over. Which is counterintuitive to everything that we get used to as modern gamers. Right. I know from before that there's just enough space for me to fit here. And that I'm safe in this row. Going over. I like the animation of the one where he's climbing up on 2 vines at a time. That's really cute. Right. Pair of birds and just a little bit too slow. Bummer. Oh, I was right there. Oh, I almost made it to I almost was able to cut off a whole bunch of time by grabbing the stretchy snot ball or whatever the hell that is. I don't understand these stretchy snot balls. I missed. Too slow. Too slow. Game over. Right. Still got time for another legitimate run before I allow myself to start using save states. Or not save states, but rewinds. Still not doing save states. I don't really need to. I mean, I don't plan on investing a whole ton of time into these old games beyond what I'm doing right now. Which would be what you would have a save state for. No, I did pass a lot of games with save states when I used to play a lot of emulated games. Which was kind of more in college at this point. But are you serious? I barely fell off of that at all. That was ridiculous. Like, I can see the distance fall mechanic. That was ridiculous. Come on. I was barely even off of the ground. I suppose the difference is you have to, like, shimmy down and then fall. Don't bite my diapered butt, please. Thank you. Rather than just letting go. But that was bullshit. Come on, man. But no, in recent years, I haven't felt, oh, what the heck? I was stuck. I haven't really felt the need or the desire to use save states. Nope. There we go. I'm happy. I'm happy because I got to my dad. Too bad Mario just moved his cage to another castle. Dick. What is this? Mario's Revenge? Like, come on, man. You got your girl back. Isn't that enough? What do you gotta capture my dad for? He hasn't, at this point, he hasn't bothered you in 3 years. Why are you harassing him? Look, he's got a kid and everything. Why are you gonna be such a dick? Mario, anyway. Look at this poor little baby gorilla who's suffering because of you. Don't you even care? So rude. Up. Oops. Can I let go, please? There we go. No, this game and the previous one that I played, Donkey Kong 3, are both delightful. Like, these, you know, especially for this. Oh man, I fell down safely, but it was too close. My butt was too close. Especially for, you know, old. Whoops. I knew I was gonna hit my head if I jumped. So I didn't, and then I died, and then I got a game over. Still only been 15 minutes, so one more legitimate run. And I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. I know it wasn't that important, because nothing I'm babbling about while doing this is that important. Shimmy! I know I was complaining about Mario being an asshole, but there was something. Oh, now I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. I'm gonna see it later in editing and being like, oh yeah, I was gonna make that point about whatever that was super profound. I know it wasn't super profound. I'm sure it was just random bullshit. Oh gosh. Oh geez. Oh man. Oh come on. Turn around. Nope. I have that problem again where you can't change your momentum mid-jump like you can in every later game, including Super Mario Brothers. You can change your momentum mid-jump. You cannot in these. You have to already be going the direction that you want to go. I have to remember that I have to shimmy down. Shimmy, shimmy. Oh, I remembered. It's just this game and Donkey Kong 3, which was the last one that I played, for this series that I'm doing, are just delightful. Especially for old arcade games like this, that, you know, are largely designed to suck up quarters. Of course, in order to suck up quarters, they also have to be fun and engaging and make you want to play them more, which this certainly does. So yeah, it didn't take very much for I mean, this is only a few years after the first Donkey Kong, and it didn't take very much for Nintendo to start developing some really delightful, engaging games. So I've heard a lot of talk about how difficult this one is, which I did find out when I played it a bit in an actual arcade. But it also is it's really cute, it's really fun. It's really creative. I am thoroughly enjoying this. As much as it's hard. Which it is. As much as it's hard and unforgiving. Because I think, oops. I died on the spring even. I think if there's one word that can most universally be used to describe old arcade games like this, it's unforgiving. I think games in general got more forgiving as time went on. To the point where it's really, I mean, all it takes is time now, you know, to beat a Nintendo game. I'm getting impatient. And I'm not wanting to wait. But I am under my time now, in which case, at which point, I'm going to start using rewinds. What am I talking about? I almost remembered. And then I forgot again. Man, I remembered and then I forgot. Whatever. Alrighty. Going up. I'm here, Dad! He's so sad when he's climbing up, and then he's so happy when he gets to his dad. But you should, like, together, you gotta stomp Mario, because his obnoxious plumber ass is ruining your day. And by extension, the whole jungle. Whew. I'm once again annoyed that I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, come on. Oh! Well, that's nice, but I'm still not going to start over. Nope. I thought I was able to grab onto it before, but... Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't remember what I was talking about again. That probably doesn't matter. Oh, right. Just how forgiving newer games are compared to older games like this. Because, of course, I mean, although they wanted you to have fun and all of that, and to enjoy yourself and to enjoy playing the games, and that's where ultimately they... is he letting birds out of a bag? I think so. Ultimately, they released them for home play as well, because they wanted people to enjoy them. I mean, initially, you know, and like every business everywhere, they wanted to make money. Alright, back to the electric stage. Show you the electric stage. It's electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie. But, you know, originally, like in all things, in, you know, capitalist society and all of that, the original goal is, of course, to make money. So, when it came to arcade games, they wanted it to be difficult so that it would suck up quarters. And then, when it came to home releases, they wanted it to be a particular level of difficult because, they didn't want people to be able to rent the games and finish them in one day. That is a genuinely documented fact. Oh, I did exactly the same thing I did last time I got to this level. Because I forget that they turn around right there. Yeah, I remember this stage. Whoop. When there is time to think about that. But yeah, there's actual documentation and whatnot of that they didn't want kids to be able to rent these games and finish them in 24 hours so that they would have to buy them. That's a fact as well. Versus now, where I think a lot of it is more about the having fun and the experiences when it comes to Nintendo. Obviously, obviously with PlayStation and whatnot, you know, and some of the more difficult games, that's there are consoles with more difficult games. That's different. But in general, it's totally true that that games are easier than they were in like the 80s. You come down. No, you don't. Okay. Because there was a lot more focus on... Oh, nice. How do we make money off of this game? Not through selling the game itself. Mario died. I caught my dad! And then we get back to the beginning. But at least, hey, I saved my dad. I got to see my dad. I rescued my dad from the evil Mario. Oh. I rescued my dad from the horrible, evil Mario. But yeah, older games, they had to think more about making money in ways beyond, in ways other than just the flat-out sale of the game. Which I suppose you could almost compare now to the rise of DLC and that kind of thing, where you don't get the complete game in one go. Oh, come on. Where, I mean, there was a time period where the money was made by selling the game itself in its entirety. Selling a game cartridge, selling a game disc, and that was all there was, and that was what you got. But now, it's kind of like we've gone back to that older model of things where making money for the business is a more gradual, ongoing thing than a one-off. Where the money is made, like maybe the initial game release is cheaper, but the money is made gradually by releasing more content and having, DLC and add-ons and extra things that you can buy later after you've bought the game. Of course, there's obviously plenty to complain about with that business model, similarly to how you could complain about some of like the impossibly difficult early games and whatnot, in that sometimes, there is a tendency now of companies to release games that are actually unfinished. Oh, hey, who said you could be down there? I suppose this is the second round through, so it's more difficult. I'm gonna rewind that. Yeah, I don't have that safe zone anymore, because now it's, because now I finished the game, quote unquote finished it, once at this point, so it's not gonna be as easy. I think they're targeting me even. So you could make a case for that being a fact as well. Or, what am I talking about? Oh, that there is unfair stuff going on with companies releasing games that are actually incomplete. And where you've paid for the game and it's near unplayably flawed, or it's just not done. And then they charge you more later for the fixes and whatnot. And that sucks and is a legitimately scummy thing to do, and bad practice that has popped up in the industry. But on a more basic level, it's not that unlike some of the the early business model for video games in general, where you were making ongoing money rather than just one sale. Although it does occur to me that there was a big difference with arcade situations in that since you weren't selling them for home sale, like you had to have somebody host these games. You had arcades. Because of course the machines were really spendy, and home gaming wasn't really a thing at that time. Like people had to go somewhere to play. So there was that, and that the machines themselves were also very expensive. So I guess, because I don't think Well, I don't know. I don't know that much about the business model that went into the whole arcade situation. I don't know, because what I'm realizing is I don't know if the game like the manufacturers or the people that owned the license or anything got any kind of a cut of the arcade take, or if it all went to the arcade owner, which I suppose, you if you want the games to reach people, since home games were not a thing, if you wanted your games to reach the public, you had to have arcades, which means you had to make your product attractive to arcades, which means you have to die. Which means you have to put them forward as a means for people to make money. You have to be able to sell that as, hey, this our product will make money for you so that you can have a business. Hey, I saved my dad twice. Yay. Stinky old Mario, he fell and died. Screw him. So in that case, you sell your cabinet to the arcade owner, and then they get to keep the proceeds from people playing the game. And then you could say, like, hey, you can recoup the money that you invested in this cabinet. Oops, wasn't paying attention because I'm talking to you. You can recover the money that you spent on this cabinet by people playing it, and thus entice people to bring your games to the public by having them in their arcade. So that's not really, in that case, the fault of the game manufacturers either, because that's just how games reached the public at that time. Is they had to be in arcades, and you had to get arcade owners to buy them and provide them to people. So any of the quarter sucking situation was out of, oops, he bit me right in the butt, was out of necessity to be able to entice arcade owners with profits so that they could give them to people. I wonder if there was ever any kind of outcry, because whenever, whoa, almost screwed up there. Whenever there's any kind of a big change in how stuff works in society, like anywhere, there's always this big outcry about, oh, this is different and it's not the way that we did it before. I'm not going to get into this particular subject, but as an example, the self-checkout situation, in stores. So, I wonder if there was any kind of an outcry against home game consoles when they came out. If people were like, oh, the Atari is gonna ruin the arcade industry. I wonder if any of that happened. Oops. Yeah, I'm not an expert in game history or anything like that. And of course you can read up on these things. I might actually read up on that later, because that would be interesting to find out if that was a thing that also happened at that time. People are like, oh, if you let people buy these games to play in their own homes, then nobody's going to come to arcades anymore. I mean, and really, when you think about it, that would have been legitimate, because arcades did go away. Because yeah, once you had the ability to play these, maybe not this specific, but game, this kind of game in general, at home anytime you wanted, and not again, and not have to blow a bunch of quarters, why would anybody go to the arcade? So that would be a legitimate kind of concern if anybody was concerned about that at the time. But I went ahead and let that happen because I am over time and I still have another guy left. I didn't have to use that many rewinds in this to get pretty far in this game, which surprises me because I had a terrible time with this when I did play it in an arcade. I suppose it's possible that the home version might be a little bit easier, or that it might be a bit easier because of the controls, like because I'm using a controller and I'm not using a joystick and a button, you know? It might be easier. You gonna hit me? No. Well, it almost didn't let me go down. But I've been doing really decent at this game compared to how I did when I played it for real. Did use some rewinds to get up to this point, but not nearly as many as I've used with some other games, and I jumped into that part. That is okay. Game over. But I have hit my time on this game, so I hope you enjoyed watching me plow my way through Donkey Kong Jr. With a minimum number of rewind usage. If you've been enjoying my content, please like video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next one.